Okay, so we got two frames done, two frames powder coated, and my air compressor is still acting up. It's got a pressure relief valve on it, so when it quits pumping, it gets up to pressure, it releases the head pressure. Well, that part doesn't happen, so it goes to start, and there's too much head pressure and the motor can't start, and it blows the fuse, or it pops the breaker, I should say. Which is no big deal because it's just a breaker, but I got to bleed all the air out of the system, start it up with zero air pressure. So I cleaned the one-way valve in there because that's what's leaking, and it works just fine for a couple days, and then it does it again, and it does it again. And I've tried building different valves, different things in there. Finally, I took it apart and I found out this piece here is a nice braided hose, steel inside, and I don't know if you can see this, but inside here it is just nothing but rust. So what's happening is when the air compressor compresses air, it squishes the H2O out of the air, the hydrogen dioxide, or the dihydrogen oxide, I guess it is. Squishes that out of the air, it gets in here, rusts this whole thing, and then little bits of that rust get into the check valves and plug them all up. Makes one of them leak, and it makes the other one not leak when it's supposed to. So we have a leaker and a non-leaker. So I went and got flare nuts this size and a copper pipe. So I'll be re-plumbing it with copper, and I'll probably have an awful nice hose. I mean, that's like industrial strength. So I'm going to put this to use someplace better. Yeah, that's better. Good place for it. So this one here is a little bit longer than it needs, so I told the guy, well, that's okay. You can always cut it off, but you can't cut it on. So it'll end up about there. I got cut about 6 inches. He measured this and came up with 2 feet. I guess he don't measure so good. Then I picked up a couple spade connectors so I can make the splice kit for that. Picked up some lunchy things. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of thing. I'm going to eat that and get that done. And got this little thing here, which I put over my ankle, and this covers my shoe because I'm tired of welding, and my left foot only. Slag drops on my foot, and it burns a hole in my shoe, and eventually I have to buy new shoes. Not to mention the red spots on my foot. But I bought this a couple of years ago, so whenever I do more than just a couple welds, I got to use that guy. Same thing with this. Before I was using one of these, yeah, I had big holes in my shirts, and I caught on fire a couple times. Not from welding, but from that angle grinder. The angle grinder is quite a dangerous tool, actually. And it does, you got to watch the old sparkerinis on that thing because she can be bad. So I did something different this year. I started up this welderside chat thing, so I can kind of talk about stuff that's kind of motorcycle related or not, and news and different plans I have. And I'm actually, it's funny, this morning I got up and I had my Cena camera, which I used to video this bike when I took it out for a test drive. And God, there had to be 40 videos on there, way from May, that I forgot about. Our first camping journey for the year, our trip to South Dakota to the Black Hills, and fishing camping trip that I had done solo. And I got to thinking, I got to get those published. But I don't want to really publish them under Endeavor Trikes directly. So I came up with a new sub channel, which eventually will be its own channel. which is called Doofus on the Loose, which I think is appropriate because sometimes they can be kind of a doofus. And you turn me loose and you never know what's going to happen. So this spring, the plan is when I quit building the motorcycles for the summer, I am going to fire up that channel. I'm going to take off and I'm going to do different rides around different places, add some drone footage. Because I have a drone channel which is called ETC Flyers, which I used for trips and stuff. And when I was doing work for realtors and stuff, I kind of document some of that. And some of the buildings, like the quick trips in town and some of the other housing projects, I filmed the progress on those throughout the months. So that was under that channel. I'm not real sure if I want to start up another channel separate from Endeavor right now because, I've got like 16 or 1,700 viewers on this channel, which is really nothing. That's a nothing channel. But if I split off on the new one, then I have to build a whole customer base. So I think what I'm going to do is wait until I have more. And then I'll eventually maybe split them apart. And it depends, if someone finally comes around and wants to buy the company, I will, give them the footage and give them the Endeavor Trikes channel. So then I'll split it off, So no news there, by the way. A couple tire kickers, it's, I guess the feedback I got was they don't think the patent is worth as much as I think it's worth, where I think they're wrong. I think the patent's worth a lot, actually, which tells me that they really don't understand, what this is and what it's all about and the uniqueness of it. So it's okay, it's out there. If somebody wants a legitimate buyer will come along someday. But for right now, I'll just keep doing it. I'm perfectly happy. And, we'll just play it by ear. So anyway, that's the plan. More stuff on YouTube. I'm kind of getting into it because give me kind of, I was always into computers anyway, and photography. I've got, cameras, kazoos everywhere. And I thought I might as well take advantage of it. And, I've got 3 drones yet. I've got a Mavic Air, a Mavic Mini 2, and a Mavic Pro. Actually, it's actually a Mavic Zoom, which is my high-end drone. That's really a good one. And the Mavic Mini is really nice. I take that on trips and stuff because it's really compact. And it's amazing the footage you can get with these little itsy-bitsy little things. But I'll be doing a lot more of that. A lot more chasing around the countryside this summer. So I will be publishing probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 videos from the footage that I had on that camera. So we'll get everything up to speed there. So it'll be kind of interesting. Some of the stuff, I make a point of not doing rides that have a fixed destination. I'm more of a go into a direction and see what's there and figure it out from there. Very few people will ride with me. In fact, nobody will. Not that I'm bad or hard to get along with anything, but I go down the road. They want to go someplace. They have a fixed venue where they want to maybe go see some car museum or something. So the destination for most people is what they want, and the ride is just kind of a compliment. Where with me, the ride is all of it. And I don't really care where I end up with. And I'm driving down the road, and I'll see a sign that says minimum maintenance road, and off I go. And they're like, well, we're not going there. So I just, before I leave, I'll say, I'll meet you at such and such. And then I take off on my own. So I almost never ride with anybody for much distance at all. And, like I really do like getting off onto the back wilderness roads last year, the wife and I went out one evening out by Lanesboro, Preston, got out in the middle of someplace by Harmony, and ended up in this. I tell you, at night it would be spooky as hell because it was like trees just covering the road, and ditch on one side and fields on the other, and we wound through this gravel road. It was awesome. But we get into stuff like that. And I've found a lot of really neat stuff. So I'm going to do a lot more this summer with that kind of content and different adventures that we fall into. So that'll be fun. It also motivates me. It gets me, really pumped up to do this stuff. So that is my plan for now. But as everything goes, plans can change. But that's what I got planned right now. As far as trips, we're looking at probably do Black Hills again. We just love the Black Hills. Go there every year, not during bike week. Usually mid-July during the Trike rally. And I'm thinking Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Virginias is this summer. Harry, my ex-painter, trader, he moved to Tennessee, so I might drop in there and egg his house or toilet paper, his trees, or some damn thing. But I'll get that guy. Anyway, yeah, that's planned. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's all I got to say about it.